These are their faces, the soft, delicate faces, reflections of the soft, fragile hearts of childhood. They are hearts of sensitive, vulnerable children, so easily pleased, so quickly hurt. In the beginning, they are pure, pristine pages, ready to be written upon, to be fashioned and formed for a lifetime by all who touch their young lives. Most grow in families, embraced with love and tender nurturing. Sadly, many are not so gently embraced. We now recognize that millions of our children live in a home with alcohol and other drug abuse. Some are physically, sexually, or emotionally abused by their own families. For children of alcoholics, the hurt runs deep, a hurt that can remain for a very long time. It shouldn't hurt to be a child, but it does for those who must live under the specter of addiction. The fear hurts, the hitting hurts, the verbal abuse hurts. The emotional abandonment to the alcohol and other drugs hurts.
When Dad comes home, I get real quiet. I don't want to make him angry.
Millions of children are experiencing profound hurt because of their parents' addiction. They deserve better, they need better, and we can't afford not to give them better. The exorbitant cost of ignoring the 1 in 5 American children who have alcoholic parents is paid by all of us. Unless we intervene, these are the children who will carry their childhoods into adulthood in the form of increased juvenile delinquency, increased educational costs, family violence, violence in our communities and in our schools, increased mental illness, child abuse, broken families, and increased teenage pregnancies. Just as tragically, this terrible legacy of family addiction is passed on to future generations with astonishing regularity. Attention to symptoms has obscured the obvious. Children of alcoholics must be helped. As troublesome as it now is, this issue would be worse if it were not for what happened 2 decades ago.
While there was some literature that, yes, children are affected, that somehow people still weren't grasping that these are children who live with chronic fear. These are children who come to believe there's something wrong with who they are. And I'm talking about 5-year-old children, 9-year-old children. And what we would see is you'd have a group with young children, adolescents, and adult children. You could see the progression right in front of you. And I think that there were a handful of us that were now seeing that denial. And we were seeing that the price that children were paying. And we began to talk about it. We began to share the stories of these children. And in essence, what I think happened is we gave voice to that child's experience.
I try to be good, but they still keep drinking.
In the 70s, an explosion of information and awareness raising took place. Self-help groups and treatment centers flourished. Dozens of books and programs examined the effects of growing up with alcoholism and other traumas, providing insights into the harmful legacies carried into adulthood. Many thousands of men and women could now address issues of their childhood, understand and then confront them. The results of their efforts were life-altering, clearing the way to resolution and closure of their youth's conflicts. But despite the extremely positive results of this movement, something important was overlooked.
I think that today what we're doing is that we're recognizing more the resiliency in children, and I think that we're trying to support children in their resiliency, even more so, that we're trying to help children to discriminate as they learn new behaviors, where it's safe and where it's not safe. I think that we're not working with the child so autonomously today as we did back in the late 1970s and the early 1980s, that we facilitate this child more in terms of involvement in their community, whatever their particular community is. I've always felt that our goals with children are to educate, to give them a framework to understand their experience, to validate their emotional experiences, to facilitate them in problem-solving skills, to offer a connection to other people, because these are children who live in isolation, and to assess and respond to protection issues. I think that we also recognize that any family involvement that we can insist upon, that we're going to do that. So we do a lot more parenting practices today.
When I was helped as a teenager, so much of the help was about talking and sharing experiences. Adolescents need more and more time in which to discuss, to talk, to share.
I'll make you funny so people will laugh. I'll make you smarter and stronger.
But with younger children, it often needs to be more concrete. And especially when we're asking them to talk about something that's a family secret. When you learn of anything, don't talk.
What's Michael telling me?
No, he doesn't want it.
He doesn't want it. Right. And if he doesn't want those things, and if he doesn't get started, can I ever hook him?
No.
What's the one way to beat the addiction man?
No. You have to say no. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Michael's right on target.
Of course, we've known for a long time what the problem is for people who use drugs, but now we're beginning to realize that that has had a very adverse effect on children, too.
These same children come from not just the genetic background of alcoholism and drug addiction, but many times will come from an environment where the parents are divorced or separated, and there is only a single parent raising the child. That single parent may or may not be the parent who is alcohol or drug addicted.
I never play at home. If Dad wakes up, I'm in big trouble.
Jackie gave us an example of negative peer pressure.
The experts say that children of alcoholics need to learn to love and respect themselves through experiences where they have opportunities to succeed and thrive. These children need help in developing strong social skills, coping strategies, and a positive vision of life. And more often than not, this help must come from outside the family.
So many of these parents who are mired in addiction and abuse and violence, where denial is such an insidious factor, aren't about to admit that they need help and to go seek help and to bring their children along. So if we can develop more programs in schools, in churches, in community recreation programs, in other places in the community, and go to where the kids are and not wait for them to come to us, that's the key.
And so an initiative began in earnest to connect with young children from alcoholic and other drug-addicted families. It is a daunting challenge to find them early when it's still soon enough to make a difference in their young lives before they fall victim to the fates so often dealt other children. The concept is basic: to provide educational support groups which empower children and give them basic information on life skills and create a safe place for them to try out and deepen these skills. In groups specifically designed for children from alcoholic and other drug-addicted families, they learn that alcoholism is a disease which is not their fault. They have a chance to talk about their confusion and their feelings and develop problem-solving and self-care skills. In group, children learn they are special and that it is important to stay safe. Groups can take place in a variety of settings: schools, treatment centers, family service agencies, recreation programs, churches, temples, and synagogues, as well as in other places in the community. Effective educational support groups for children of addicted parents have such essential elements as skilled and well-trained facilitators to guide the process. 6 to 10 group members, usually not more than 3 years apart in age, who faithfully attend and participate. A regular meeting time, a regular meeting place that allows for privacy, confidentiality, and for the children to feel comfortable. A meeting structure and format that ensures the children's physical and emotional safety. Each group features a theme with a broad range of games and activities. These often include feelings, addiction, self-care, defenses, family, self-worth, alcohol and other drugs, problem-solving, and celebrating you and me. In a safe place, children have a chance to be kids. Learning, play, and laughter deepen the healing process.
So many kids grow up too fast. We need to enter their world with activities, with strategies, with a focus that's important and meaningful to them. And some humor and some fun and some laughter really open the door to healing, to looking at painful subjects, to sharing feelings, to disclosing secrets that children promise themselves they'll never tell anybody, and to really get in touch with how special they are.
Use these skills that you practice today.
I learned how to talk to kids better and not be so shy and hold your feelings in, that you can talk and people won't put you down.
Everybody knows how to get in touch with that safe person if they need to.
I think they learn differently, just depending on their maturity and their age, how much they could absorb. And I think every year it helped to keep them, to notice there could be changes in your own life. They can make changes. And with the anger and the fear, I mean, we have all those feelings in an alcoholic home. And I came from that when I grew up.
And I'm wondering if you could share one of the things about living in a family with this addiction. What really bothers you a lot?
I mean, I feel like my friends think less of me that way. I felt like I could say anything in there. I wasn't shy at all. Once I got to know them all, it was a lot of fun.
Was there anybody there that you could talk to about it?
The TV.
So there weren't any people there to talk to?
It's just fun. You get to tell people about your feelings, and they won't tell anybody else. You just, just keep that to themselves.
I never have friends over. Mom might embarrass me.
It's just like practicing scales on a piano. If they practice it, they gain the confidence.
Impressive programs for children of addicted parents are being conducted throughout the country. These groups are offered in city churches, treatment centers, schools, summer camps, and Hispanic family and youth-serving agencies.
I think the idea is to show kids that there are adults who care, that there are adults who are willing to listen, that there are adults who want to take time with kids. I think a lot of times because everyone's so busy that sometimes kids don't get that attention that I think all of us, kids and probably adults as well, want some time and feel that some people think that we're important.
I see a great need for the children to have a program like this. It's great that the kids can come and have fun and play games and learn a lot about drugs and how it affects the families. Also, we don't send them home without some skills on how to take care of themselves, and if they need help, how to get help.
And why do you feel they're safe?
I can trust them.
You can trust them.
We want children, without judging their family members or their family friends, whatever, to understand that they can make other choices, other decisions. And so as they're coming through their growing up time, let's give them some healthy, safe skills to handle problems instead of dealing with stress by drinking, dealing with stress by, gee, maybe I'll run, or maybe I'll bike, or maybe I'll write in my journal, or maybe I'll talk to a friend, or maybe I'll draw a picture about it. Give them some skills that they can carry with them for the rest of their lives.
My one daughter was very withdrawn into herself, and being through that program has opened her up, and she's in cheerleading now, and she's a very positive young lady.
We say when people get addicted that they have a sickness or a disease inside.
I think that the kids take so much from this about how to handle feelings, that feelings are okay no matter what they are, and that there are healthy ways to cope with those feelings.
What feeling would you pick?
Sad.
What sad? Well, tell me more.
What they can do is make healthy choices. They can take care of themselves. They can celebrate who they are because each one of them is so special.
Who do you need to be taking care of?
Yourself.
Yeah.
If you don't take care of yourself and worry about other things, yourself's gonna be hurt.
One of the things I think we try to do is set a tone in an environment that respects one another, so that we teaching through our modeling respect for one another, some healthy self-care, positive communication
styles. But in the long run, it's really teaching them and empowering them to want to make their life different.
There is progress and there is success in helping these vulnerable children, both in community settings and in our schools. Group facilitators share a passion for children and a belief that all children have a right to be physically and psychologically safe.
Anything pertaining to alcohol awareness and education hits rather close to home to me. I myself am a child of an alcoholic. Well, hopefully we'll learn that that's not the only alternative.
I learned that I can get help when I need it, and that when he is drinking and I need to talk to somebody, I can go to like the school counselor or a teacher or a friend.
I can't control it.
I can't control it.
I can take care of myself.
I can take care of myself.
It is a tremendous program. It has a tremendous curriculum that really benefits the children and along with benefiting the volunteers who serve here.
I learned about people who had problems but they don't have them anymore, and some people who learn from those problems to help deal with their anger and stuff.
I enjoy giving, and certainly I get a lot from just the interaction with the kids. Brightens my day.
Maybe one day if somebody else is going through, like my friends or something are going through a really bad time, you know, like that, I want to help them and show them that stuff and maybe get them involved in a group.
When you hear that children are all of a sudden expressing themselves at home, expressing some of these concerns and fears that have been inside them, and they're talking about them.
I want you to get out of this knot without letting your hands go, because you're a family, you're stuck together.
When you hear that they are dealing with their brothers and sisters a little bit more effectively, that's a real rewarding thing to hear.
Did you like doing that? Yeah. You do? You like coming here, don't you? Yeah.
We'll never have healthy children in America unless healthy adults lead the way. We'll never have resilient children, strong children in America unless adults model those very traits. And so empowering adults to do this work, to see that no matter where they live, no matter what community, no matter what their job is, there are children that they come into contact with on a daily basis. And they can make a difference in those children's lives. Watch what happens when we hold on to our feelings all the time, though.
Whether the group facilitators and program coordinators are social workers, teachers, business executives, clergy, police, volunteers, or other concerned community members, it takes training.
Look what I bring with me now. And if you come from a home where there's alcoholism or other drug addiction, or there's violence and abuse, look at the price we pay when we collect all this stuff.
Facilitating groups for children from substance-abusing families requires knowledge, skills, and practice.
It's going to go away. And I always say, when you share happy, you create a place for another happy to come and take its place. It needs to be a grassroots level movement where we all get involved, we make it a priority, and we see that we provide more services, more structure and guidance for young people. Government can help, but it needs to be a partnership, a community partnership.
I always say that each and every one of us who came from a chemically dependent home, who have the strengths that we have today, we had them because somebody believed in us, and somebody in some fashion let us know that they cared about us. And sometimes it was the comment that the band teacher made on one summer parade. It may have been the relationship you had with your piano teacher. It may have been your coach. But I just would like to say to the adults who are watching this, I want you to think about who those people were in your life that made a difference for you, what it is they said and what it is they did. And to remember that for many of them, they were just fleeting in your life. But if we have enough of those people in a child's life, that child will have enough faith to reach out and be more willing to ask for help, more willing to let somebody know what it is that's going on that makes it more possible that we can be available to them.
It is unlikely that the plight of children of alcoholics will ever be eradicated. As long as alcohol and other drugs are consumed abusively by parents, and to an addictive degree, the children will always be hurt. It is time for you to be a part of the solution. We have a knowledge base about addiction in the family. We have the tools, the curricula, the models for doing educational support groups. Join those who care. Reinforce the critical messages that must be delivered to these children. It is not your fault. You are not alone, and there is help. Look once more at their faces. Do you see a child you know among them?
When we finally recognized the huge gap in our family services and instituted these educational support groups for the children of our clients, the treatment was more effective and the family healing moved more quickly. I am firmly convinced that for the most effective outcomes and long-term recovery of our clients, children's services are essential.